When we want to make better choices in life, the motivation is always high in the beginning. But as the days pass, the motivation is only gets weaker and weaker. And before we know, we all are back in a place where we were before we decided to work more, or drink more water and less coffee, or eat less banana fries and more bananas. Okay, the last one maybe is just for me. But before we know it, we all are back in that place where we are lazy, comfy, and hoping to find motivation to make better choices in life. Ooh. You know, during 2000, when the British government wanted to increase their tax revenue, they applied this simple behavior change method, which resulted in millions of extra pounds in their tax collection. I can see you're thinking, why this guy telling me all this, right? Because we can apply the same method to achieve all the fitness goals that we have. But before that, answer me this. Let's say one day you woke up and when you went to brush, you couldn't find your toothbrush. Now, what would you do in that situation? Please don't tell me it would never happen to you because you are a Virgo. Just imagine, okay? So you couldn't find your toothbrush. Now, what would you do? Would you skip brushing for that day because you couldn't find your toothbrush? Or you will find a way to brush your teeth, like I did. But why it is so hard to skip brushing even for one day? I mean, the mint flavored Mentos are really cheap, and we know if we skip one day brushing, nothing bad would happen. But still, it's so hard for us to skip brushing even for one day. Why do you think is that? Yeah, exactly, because it's a habit. Now, how cool it would be if we can turn working out regularly into a habit, and then we don't have to force ourselves to go to gym, or we don't have to drag ourselves from the bed to work out. Working out can happen without we even thinking about it. Now the question is how we can turn something like working out regularly into a habit. Some people say to build a habit it takes 21 days. Others would say it would take like 61 days, and some are saying it would even take 1000 days. But if there is anything we know for sure about building habit, is that it takes a lot of repetitions to build a habit. So instead of focusing all our energy on how many days it's going to take to build a habit, what we have to do is focus all our energy into being consistent with the habit that we want to build. This is where we're going to use the method the British government used to increase their tax collection, which is whichever habit you want to build, make it as simple as possible. The goal is to have as little friction as possible between you and the habit you want to build. In a book called The Atomic Habits, the author James Clear says,
much of the battle of building better habits comes down to finding ways to reduce the friction associated with our good habits and increase the friction associated with our bad ones.
So this is how the British government increased their tax revenue. Instead of sending citizens to a web page where the tax form can be downloaded, to linking directly to the tax form, so just removing that one tiny step from the process, it resulted in millions of extra pounds as a tax revenue, showing every small steps counts. In short, your chances of sticking with the habit would be high if you can make it as convenient as possible. Now, how we can use the same method? How can we reduce the friction to build a habit that we want to build so we can live a healthy life? Let's say the habit we want to build is to work out at our home every day as soon as we wake up in the morning. Now, what is the first thing that we should do to make sure that we'll be able to build that habit? We want to make it as convenient as possible, right? So how we can do that? Prepare everything in advance, which includes choosing the workout clothes and keeping the workout area ready and deciding what all are the workouts you're going to do next day in the morning. So in that way, when it's time for us to work out, the only thing left to do is just work out. See, this way, the chances of me falling back on the bed to sleep again, it's rare since we reduce the friction. So I hope this will help you to build all the healthy habits that you want to build. and I'll see you with another video. Now let me go finish my morning workout. Peace out.